Hello, my name is Dr. Susan Blank, and I'm an endocrinologist who works with the Virginia Department of Health. Thank you for joining me for this learning session, which is part of the Virginia Healthy Hearts Initiative. This learning session is part of a series we're calling Heart Healthy Hacks, which is focusing on practical tips to try to overcome some common barriers to heart healthy living. Today, we're going to be focusing on tips that can help you save time while supporting a heart healthy lifestyle. Let's get started. Ideally, we would all be reading nutrition labels while we're grocery shopping, but in reality, most of us don't have the time or energy to do this all the time. So it's good to know some tips for how you can make sure that you're getting healthy foods without having to get into the details of the nutrition labels. The first tip on this is to buy primarily whole, unprocessed foods like vegetables, fruits, whole grains, eggs, dairy, meat, and fish. These are some of the healthiest foods in the grocery store, and for the most part, they don't even have a nutrition label on them, so there's nothing to read even if you wanted to. If you are buying processed and packaged foods, another good tip is to look for the American Heart Association Heart Check sign, which you see here. If you find this on foods, you know that they are certified by the American Heart Association to be low in salt, sugar, and saturated fats, and also to include other beneficial nutrients for heart health. Another time-saving tip is to buy pre-prepped ingredients. These include things like pre-washed salad greens and pre-cut and washed fruits and vegetables that you can find in the aisles of the produce section of most grocery stores. These sometimes tend to cost a little bit more, which may or may not be worth it to you in terms of time savings. Another more affordable option is to look for frozen and canned fruits and vegetables because these are washed and prepped before they're frozen or canned. There are a few things that you want to look out for here, though. If you're buying frozen options, you want to make sure that they're not frozen with any kind of sauce. And if you're buying canned versions for fruits, you want to make sure that they are packed in 100% juice and not a sugary syrup. And for vegetables, you want to make sure that you're looking for low sodium or no sodium added versions if they're available, or that you're rinsing those off with water in a colander before you use them. Another option to save time is to consider ordering groceries online for pickup or delivery. This also can be associated with a small fee at some grocery stores, although sometimes now they offer it for free. But even if you're paying that fee, a lot of times you may find that you'll actually end up saving money because you won't buy impulse purchases that you would buy if you were wandering around the store on your own. Once you get your groceries home, if you didn't buy pre-prepped ingredients, it can be really helpful to go ahead and wash and cut up your fruits and vegetables right when you get home and put them in the refrigerator so that they'll be available for you later when you want or need them. If you get really busy during the week, it can be really helpful to batch prepare ingredients or even whole meals on the weekend so that they'll be available for you during the week when you're busier. You can also consider making your own frozen meals. If you're making a recipe like a soup or casserole that freezes well, you can double the recipe and then freeze half of it so it'll be available for a quick, easy weeknight meal down the road. You may also want to consider trying a meal kit delivery service. These are a little bit more expensive, but they can be a great, fast, easy way to get a home cooked meal on the table because you don't have to get a recipe, you don't have to shop for the ingredients or prepare the ingredients in a lot of cases because they do all of that for you. Nutrition advice can get complicated and overwhelming, so I think it can be really helpful to have some simple rules of thumb for how to create a healthy plate of food. And this is a rule that I use myself and that I teach my children. Fill half your plate with fruits and vegetables. If you do this, you're making sure that you're getting a lot of that heart healthy fiber that's important to help lower cholesterol and also has a whole bunch of other health benefits. You're also making sure you're getting a lot of vitamins and minerals that are important for heart health, and you're right sizing some other things on your plate. Ideally, you want these fruits and vegetables to be in a variety of colors and textures and to be cooked simply or not at all. As far as physical activity, the recommendation for adults is that we get 150 minutes a week of moderate intensity physical activity. And that's the equivalent of around 30 minutes 5 times a week. And I know this can seem daunting. It's a lot of time. We all have really busy schedules, but I think this chart can be very helpful and very eye-opening. I know it was for me. If we look at that 30 minutes as a percentage of our overall waking hours, it turns out that 30 minutes is just 3% of our waking hours. And it really doesn't seem like that's that much time to dedicate to keeping our hearts and ourselves healthy. And most of us, if we make an effort, can find 30 minutes sometimes in our day, even though it may be challenging to find that in a block all at once. If you're having a hard time finding 30 minutes to exercise all at once, you can get a lot of the same benefits by breaking it down into smaller chunks. For example, you could exercise for 10 minutes 3 times a day. If you're going to do this, one really great way to do it is to take 10-minute walks after each of your meals, because we know that after meal walks have special benefits for reducing blood sugar spikes after we eat. You can also try to swap strolling for scrolling. So most of us these days, if we find ourselves with a little downtime, we tend to reach for our phone and scroll mindlessly. Next time that you have a little downtime, instead of reaching for your phone, maybe try to go for a quick walk around the block, or maybe even up and down the stairs in your house or office building. You can also try to build exercise into your day-to-day life. This way it just becomes part of your regular activities instead of something extra that you're trying to carve out time for. And there are a whole bunch of different ways that you can do this. You can take the stairs instead of the elevator. You can park a little bit farther away and get some extra steps on your way into the store or appointment. You can hold a walking meeting. This is something that you could potentially do at work, but you could also do in your social life. Instead of asking a friend to meet you for coffee or lunch, you could ask them to meet you for a walk instead. You can walk while talking on the phone, either outside or even pacing around in your office. And you can also exercise while watching TV. You can walk in place or do some chair exercises. Or if you don't want to exercise while your show is actually on, you can commit to doing some planks or squats during the commercial breaks. And if you're going to do this, one good thing to do is to get a pedometer, which is a little device that you can wear on your waistband to count your steps. Or a lot of times these days, smart watches and even phones can count your steps. This way you can keep track of all that activity that you're getting as part of your day-to-day life. We know that you start to see cardiovascular benefits around 4,000 steps a day, and those benefits continue till you get up to a goal of around 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day. So you could start with a pedometer, see where you are, and just try to gradually build up the activity in your day till you're getting closer to that 8 to 10,000 steps a day. This concludes today's session. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I hope you've learned some useful tips that will help you save time while living a heart-healthy lifestyle. If you're interested in more information on heart health, you can go to the VDH website. I've included the website address here along with a QR code that will take you there. Thank you and have a wonderful day.